It is a lot more user friendly.
I
Um,
really like it.
yeah, a lot more user friendly. Okay, let's go to YouTube and fix them. So, hey everybody, welcome to the
Hello,
show.
Internet. I haven't done a show from bed in years
Honestly, I like your background. I like your backdrop here. It looks nice.
because there's nothing in it.
You look angelic.
Thank you. I have up here, I keep Christmas tree lights up here all year.
How's that electric bill?
Well, I don't have them on all the time.
Okay.
And then a little stained glass sticker on the window, and then just some light low lamps.
Yeah, I'm on the verge of probably. You know that lamp that light, that like double light that I showed you guys a couple of months ago from like Logitech?
Yeah, are you jumping on it?
I probably am in the next sometime in the summer.
Oh, that's fun.
Instead of having this bright white, you can my background will probably be colorful as well too.
If you haven't noticed, I fucking hate big bright lights. Hate it.
I do too. I
Like,
never my lights are never on in my apartment.
oh no, like big light, not allowed. Like, can I get away with?
There is a
Like, this is my preferred lighting.
you still come out pretty good actually.
Great.
Yeah, it
Because
works for
I,
me.
great, great, great. I love that for me. And look
What's
who's asleep next to me.
up, Boris?
Yeah,
Hi, Boris.
he's comfortable.
It's good. Good for him.
No, I remember in my old apartment, I had smart bulbs in all my lamps. And I think I want to eventually do that again. Where did my vape
Like
go?
color changing bulbs, you mean?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have like there it is. I have like the LED strip in the living room that I can change color,
Hmm.
but I need that like everywhere.
There
Like I
is
love that I'm practically purple in here.
there is a book I read years ago about like happiness. And so essentially what it was like, and I was in a really morbid like mood at that time in my life. And like my coworker gave it to me. I was like, wow, am I that visibly miserable? um and it was this whole study from like apparently there's a happiness institute of the world, and it's
Hmm.
yeah, and I forgot where it's based in. I want to say Sweden or something like that, one of the happy countries.
No, that gives very Swiss vibes.
Yeah. And it was a whole study about like how, like, I think Sweden was named like the happiest country in the world, and so they did a study about like why are they so happy, like what makes them, and one of the things that they studied was like the being in more natural lighting settings,
Hmm.
not using artificial light, and like having using natural light when you can, or being in dim lit areas really helps
Hmm.
um your mood.
I have a hard time. Like I love darkness, don't get me wrong. Like,
I
but
do too.
I hate artificial light more than I like darkness. Like I struggle being in a basement because my apartment is pretty dark.
Yes, it is.
But it is really dark. It is, especially when we turn off like the LED light. It's a fucking cave in here.
Hmm.
But that's why I like the fun, colorful lighting because at least it's moody lighting.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to put a lamp in every room because also because we're in a basement, we have it's bright basement. Ugh.
Yeah.
Like I turn those lights on to clean. Like,
That makes sense.
but I want a lamp for my shower eventually because
Oh, one of those. I saw that the other day. I was like, oh, that looks nice.
I want a shower because my shower again, dark nightmare. It's like a
Yeah.
stand-up shower, real narrow. It's dark. I hate it. I want to put what that I have like a holographic prism film in my back window, and I'm gonna put that on the glass. Get a little lamp in there, make it a vibe.
Okay.
Like if your apartment is dark or your apartment makes you feel sad or makes you feel kind of a way, just make it a vibe and you'll feel better.
Pretty much. I've always wanted like mood lighting. I just never got into it. But like, I'll start with
Let
this. The
Oh my
the
God, let
lighting
me
that I
help
can use
you.
in the background for when we do streams and stuff. I also
Yeah,
kind of want to do it for like my job because when I'm in meetings, I could just like change the light for my mood and see if they notice.
I definitely do that. Like, because usually when I take like Zoom calls or like do podcasts and stuff, I like changing the LED lighting either based on my
Yeah.
mood or based on what I'm watching. So like a lot like
Ooh.
during Jets season, I'll put the lights green a lot. Mets games, I'll do blue a lot. But
Mhm.
the pink light is the kind of the everyday standard.
Fair enough, fair enough. I need to figure out my everyday standard for lighting and whatnot. And thank you everybody for joining us on the pre-show. Whoever you are, chime in. Use us. Tell us who you are in the chat. I really hope Taquan comes into the stream. Actually,
Me too.
seeing he was at Battleground.
Battleground. I saw that. I noticed that in Discord this morning.
He
But
was
I
at
feel like I
Battleground. He had a picture with Stephanie Vaquer. Lucky man, him.
damn.
Right? By the way, apparently it is confirmed that Stephanie Vaquer is dating Miles Bourne.
What?
Yeah,
Stop it.
I'm so serious. So it was a rumor last week that Stephanie was dating Miles Bourne because apparently Miles Bourne posted pictures of him and his family, and Stephanie was with him. And I was like,
Wow.
and people were like, "Oh, interesting." And I still had a little doubt. And then they were Oba Femi and Stephanie were on like a radio or like a TV, like a local Tampa TV or something like that. And they were talking
Oh,
about Battleground, and Oba Femi with his full chest was like, "I can't wait to beat up Stephanie's boyfriend."
damn.
I was like, "Wow, Oba." Oh, look who it is, Mr. Ritter.
Hello,
Welcome,
hello.
welcome back, sir. Ironically, I was talking about you, Mr. Ritter, when I was watching Battleground with some people because I believe you're going to be on Fretz's show soon, and I think you need to come back to this show too, Mr. Ritter. We have a brand new setup, as you can see. Um, we've got a lot of fun stuff going on right now, and we'd like your expertise on some things. And plus, I know it's not horror season technically, so I know you have some free time. Also, since you are a horror aficionado, Mr. Ritter, if you are still here while we have you, let me know your thoughts on Sinners without ruining anything because Kay
I
unfortunately
still
has
haven't
not
seen it.
seen it yet at all.
I'm so behind on movies. Part of my fun employment goal is to catch up on all the movies that I wanted to see while I was working at the Trevor Project, but was too burnt out to watch.
Yeah.
So, like, heavy movies I can start watching again,
So
sad things. It's so great.
so what movies are on your list of things to see?
Um, at the top of my list, at the top of my head that I can think of, Nosferatu I haven't seen.
Okay, I heard
Um,
that's a weird one.
I feel like because I like horror movies, but like they're not my go-to. Like during Halloween season, I'm like a cozy Halloween person, not like a
Okay.
scary Halloween person. Like haunted houses don't bug me, but just I think my nervous system at this point in my life is just a little too frazzled for horror all the time.
You
So
and me both.
Nosferatu, I really want to see. Sinners is on my list. I want to see Anora, because I know that just won Best Picture.
Mhm.
I want to see Love Lies Bleeding came out a couple years ago with Kristen Stewart. That's on my list. Dick's the Musical with Nathan Lane and Meg Thee Stallion is on my
Oh, I
list.
forgot about Dix. I remember I was like, this is gonna be like a ridiculous movie. I kind of want to see it.
I'm dying. I'm dying to see Dick's the Musical. The Color Purple, the musical movie
Oh, the
came
remake?
out. Yeah, that's a movie based off the Broadway version that I've been like wanting to see. Like a lot of these movies are old. I never saw Midsommar. I never saw what's that movie? Saltburn.
I never saw Saltburn either, but I know it was like people were like raving about it.
I heard it was crazy.
So I've heard. Hey Ritter, thanks for giving me that little tip right there. Hopefully the feed's not going in and out. We're pretty good here, from what I can see.
Yeah, I hear everybody, and by everybody I
Yeah.
mean us. Fine.
Mhm. And you liked Hard Eyes. Hard Eyes is coming out. Hard Eyes is on Netflix, I think now.
What's Hard Eyes?
It's a Valentine's Day horror.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
Fretz,
I never
go
saw
ahead.
Clerk. I still haven't seen Clerks 3.
Neither
That's
did I
like
actually.
I'm like a huge Kevin Smith fan, and I just didn't watch it.
Mhm.
And it was on Peacock for a while, and I went to put it on the other day, and it's not on Peacock anymore.
Yeah. Oh, Charles says we're good on your end. Hey, Charles, how you doing?
Hi, Charles.
Yeah, Charles has been stressed lately.
Welcome to the wedding planning world, my friend. It's fucking hard out there.
Frets, you're going to Niagara Comic Con this weekend. I know that. Who are you officially meeting, Frets, at Niagara Comic Con? Things like that. Get the
Oh,
Kleenex ready for Clerks 3.
I
Really? It's
can't
in.
wait.
Oh, jeez.
I feel like it's. Oh, Ricky, do you watch Handmaid's Tale?
I do not, because I feel like I'm living in it right now. But
Oh, never mind. I think I'm the only person that still watches it that I like know, and I have no one to speak to about the finale.
Mike, yeah, it's not me. It's too real for me at this point. I'm currently in a rewatch of Marvel's Agents of Shield, like their
Ooh,
best television show
fun.
they ever made. And at this point I'm at the end of season 4, and at this point they're technically in an alternate timeline where like Hydra took over, and like they and I was like, wow, this is getting real. This is getting way too real. They censored the education. There's only a couple of radio and TV channels that they can like listen or watch. They have like re-education centers. I was like, Jesus Christ.
That's cool.
I was
Hi,
like,
Mr. YLP. Everyone's here.
it's a party tonight. Would you look at that?
Wow, I love this for us.
Fred's is seeing Mick Foley with Steiners, the OG Power Rangers, Billy, Zach, and Kimberly, and maybe Robert England, speaking of horror
That's
people.
so fucking cool.
Yeah,
Have the best time, Mr. Fretz.
I would probably melt if I ever got to see Kimberly in person. Amy Jo Johnson.
Yeah.
She was like so in of 90s like I guess she was a 90s heartthrob. It goes like for me it's like
But she's so hot.
yeah, it goes like Kimberly and then Topanga, but it's like 1 and 1A.
Yeah. I feel like they're like different versions of the same font.
Kind of. There was a TikTok I saw the other day. It was like this little kid in the back seat and he was like, "Dad, what was Kimberly like?" And like the dad turns around and starts tearing. He's like, "The most beautiful thing in the world." And there's segments of just like Kimberly from the show, like headshots of her, and he's like, "It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." Although I did hear Kimberly was like is stupid nice at Comic Cons.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, Zach was when I met Zach at New York Comic Con a couple years ago. He was really nice,
That's cool.
and he literally does dance when he's bored. So it's not technically a stereotype; it's just how he is. I have to send you something, Kay, about Power Rangers. I got stuck into the Power Rangers side of TikTok.
How?
I watched this one I watched this one video of they were this guy was talking about how Power Rangers is like like the the meanest gang ever in TV history.
Hmm.
It's like Power Rangers always had guns and they were always jumping people. Like every version of Power Rangers were like just crash out teens.
Oh wow. Oh my.
Fred says Kelly Kapowski number 3, Topanga number 2. Okay. Oh yeah, Kelly Kapowski. I forgot she existed. I wasn't a
Yeah,
big Saved by the Bell person.
me neither. I never really got into it.
Yeah, neither did I. Wasn't really my jam. Um, was my jam at all. But yeah, guys, stay around actually. And all right, the fun thing about this, if we ever wanted to, we're not doing it tonight, but if we ever wanted to, I can always just chime you guys into the show whenever we want. I can literally send them an invite
Ooh,
link and they can always just like pop in.
that's really fun.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out one day. You know, I can just invite people and make them I can bring them in at certain times.
That's
You work
fun.
for okay, Mr. YLP. What else? I tried to hit up the Secret Service about snagging royalties from Piper. Listen, we had it before Piper decided to use her real name and call herself Slazen K. You have a Zordon sound? What do you mean the Zordon sound? I like my text alert is the Morpher sound. Do you have like one where it's like Rangers, or something like that? Uh, which kind of ticks me off because all the young kids, because I've had this Morpher this morpher tone for a very, very long time. And people are like, "Oh my god, that's impossible," and I have to, like, reprimand them in public all
I've
the
done that. I've done that
time.
to you.
Yeah, and I'm like, "How dare you? How dare you disappoint me, Kay?" Oh, man. Okay, also question for you. I'm putting this out there public. I talked to Frets and YLP about it when we were watching I was watching Battleground with them. I was in Discord chat with them on Battleground.
Mhm.
Um, do you remember when way, way long ago, you may not have even been officially a part of it, but do you remember when we would do War Room?
Yeah,
It is very we can very easily in this studio setup right now. I can create separate studios for different things. Like we can create a war room setup. We can create
like a
a
breakout room,
no
kind
for
of.
like if we wanted to do like mini shows.
Oh, that's fun.
Like what was it? Love and War. We can create a whole different scenario for Love and War. And the thing about
Ooh,
this is we don't have to go live all the time. We can record it and then post it later.
I think that would be fun.
You know, little periodic shows here and there.
No, I remember like when I joined was like before we like everything we were doing like Love and War and
It
like
was
Ring
about
Shape.
7 years ago.
Yeah.
It came up on my Facebook memories because I still have Facebook memories.
Oh.
So around this time in different years, Dave officially left, you joined officially. We did episode 100 around this time, like 8 years ago.
Oh yeah, May. This is my. I don't remember the exact date. It's around. It's May for sure. But this is my what 6 year anniversary.
It's definitely around the end of May, yeah.
Mhm.
Um, you can do Fred's Fave 5 in that. I'll have to explore with that as well
Mhm.
because, as I told you, I didn't tell you, I can give people membership access. Like we can create a team on here.
What do you mean?
Like you know how we have a team for in after shooting shop here. We're gonna start soon. You know, as we used to have a team for our current merch store. People had
Yeah.
different access levels, or when we create a team for when we post for Spotify, and people can
Mhm.
post. I can do the same thing here,
Oh, very cool.
so we can have that capability. But it's I'm putting it out there right now because potential future plans, because I feel like it'd be fun. It's more so because I want more digital content for the Ward YouTube page. To be
Yeah.
completely honest with you, we're struggling on that end.
Yeah. We
um,
had so much motivation during COVID when we had nothing else to do.
oh yeah, I mean, I learned a lot of skills that I still use today,
Yeah.
but you know, then life got in the way. But now life has kind of dwindled down for
Yeah.
everybody. Um, War Room would be crazy because I would use that as an avenue to bring in different people from different podcasts.
The one Patreon idea that I would want to do with you and Will specifically, now
Okay,
that I'm getting into baseball.
Kay learns baseball.
No, yeah, kind of.
You'd be Will would be able to help you out more on like the day to day. I can probably tell you like semantics and rules and stuff like that.
Like watching it all the time is very helpful, but like, am I an expert at baseball? No.
Fair enough.
Like, but I feel we have to get to a Mets Yankees game one of these days.
Yeah, well, that series. I don't know. I think the next one's in July or something.
The next one's July 4th weekend. I have a
Yeah,
wedding,
I have
so
a
like
wedding
I
that weekend too.
so next season we'll go.
Something like
Hi,
that. Yeah,
bub.
yeah, we'll get there. All right. Enough of our K's ball. Wow, wow,
Hayes
frats.
ball.
Wow, frats. The naming
I love
convention nasty.
that. Like baseball,
Yep,
like
K's ball.
basketball.
Basketball, Basketball.
Basketball's such a good movie.
I haven't seen that in such a long time.
Me, I haven't probably watched it since college.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus. All right, folks, we're about to get ready to start the show right now. Yeah, so like, share, subscribe, leave us reviews, comment on wherever you're at, wherever you're watching us on YouTube, on Twitch, on
Oh,
Facebook, whoever's still doing it. Is anybody watching on Facebook right now? Nobody right now, which is great. It's really, really awesome. But leave comments on the feed, like it, share it, subscribe it, and we will be back in pretty much exactly 3 minutes. And yes, I literally did say 3 minutes. So see ya.
Kings of the rings of the illest. Kings of the rings of the illest. Hustle Addict Radio HQ, representing kings of the rings to the fullest. King Ricky made the hot tag to Willie T, and out of nowhere like Randy is the Queen Bee. K-Fay brother, 400 plus in the bag like money in the bank brother. See when they pod, it's the opposite of common. Look at the comments, crowned it a certified top 10. You heard? Kings of the Rings pod. Throw up a too sweet when you see the squad. Like a chop in a, I know you feel it. Kings of the Rings are the illest. Kings of the Rings are the illest. Kings of the Rings are the illest.
All right, folks, welcome everybody to another episode of King of the Rings podcast. I am your host, King Ricky Rinplay. Thank you guys for joining us, especially Boris over there right now. No Willie
No,
T
do
tonight.
me time.
Willie T is off for the week for a very good reason that we cannot reveal just yet because we haven't got his blessing to reveal what that good news is. We'll do that in due time, or we'll wait for him to reveal it himself. But with me, for the first time we're doing an actual show together, just me and them. Slage and K-Fape, how are you?
Hello, hello, hello. I am here. Boris is here. Boris's Popeye's chicken sandwich is here.
Is that really like a toy Popeye
Yeah.
chicken sandwich?
Yes, please look. Please look, the chicken, the pickle, the bun.
You know, I already had
like
dinner, and now I
his
want
mother.
a Popeye's chicken sandwich, and that's probably what the name of the episode is going to be called, Popeye's chicken sandwich.
I haven't had
This one.
Popeyes in so long.
I haven't had Popeyes in a while, and there's one right by me, and I have like these
Same.
coupons that I get in the mail for it all the time, and I just never use them.
I'm trying to like cut out fast food for the most part between now and the wedding.
Understandable. You gotta be fit, and all
Yeah.
of that stuff.
I just
So-
love food, so I can at least cut out the fast food.
I get it, and cook a little bit more, and all
That's
that.
what we've been doing. I like cooking. So instead, if I'm like craving something from like specific takeout places, I've been making it instead.
Fair enough. I don't
Like,
know
I
what this
have
name
a-
is for, but I get it.
I have a running Google Doc of things I like from other places that I just
Good.
make instead.
All right, Mr. Wallopy, are you calling Boris one of the future World Tag Champions? Because
Oh,
I'd agree
he
with
is the little champion.
that.
I call him the tribal chief, and I am his advocate.
You know what? I can see that being an amazing Halloween fit for you.
Well, last year he was the Undertaker.
I remember
Oh.
that. He looked very Hasidic. I will say that.
He really did.
I remember that, but I was like, I know what we're going for, but
My little Jewish dog.
Yes, we are. All right. So all shenanigans aside, it's time for WWE to put in their shenanigans because over last week, WWE said, hey, remember that time when we said that we were going to bring WrestleMania 42 to New Orleans, and we're going to bring out The Rock in New Orleans to announce WrestleMania 42 in New Orleans? Yeah, we lied. We lied. News broke over the weekend that WrestleMania 42 is not going to be in New Orleans. WWE confirmed this, I think, Friday afternoon before SmackDown, saying that instead of WrestleMania 42 going to New Orleans, instead they're going to they restructured some stuff or whatever with the city of New Orleans, and now they're going to give them Money in the Bank in August of next year.
Ew. Money in the Bank in August?
Money in the Bank is going to be in August, presumably
After
SummerSlam, yes.
That makes no sense.
Presumably after
Okay.
SummerSlam. Money in the Bank is going to be in August. I believe it's August 28th, 29th weekend. It's around the same time as Sir Charles' birthday. So end of August. They do still guarantee that at some point there is going to be a future WrestleMania in New Orleans. They have a working relationship with the city of New Orleans. I am assuming yes, that is true, Taquan. Everything The Rock announces does not happen at all.
Remember when we went to Survivor Series expecting The Rock to show up and then he didn't? This is what that feels like.
Remember when The Rock turning John Cena heel was going to be like the biggest thing in wrestling history, and then it was absolutely nothing.
Mm. I'm trying to let it cook.
I'm off. I'm off the boat for
I
that
think he's.
one.
I think they're using a slow cooker.
No, they don't have an idea. I can tell you right now, they don't. I love your optimism, but it's not there. Um, it's not there at all. So so apparently, I think they're going to have some working partnership with New Orleans, like they have for Indianapolis, which they guaranteed a Rumble, which already happened, a SummerSlam, and a Mania in the near future. That was, obviously helped negotiated with Pat McAfee's influence and things of that nature. With that being said, officially, there is no location that WWE, again, or TKO or Endeavor, which however far up you want to go on the corporate ladder, there is no location that they have officially stated in a press release or whatever that where WrestleMania is going to be next year. The rumors, the rumor is August in the Bayou is going to be nasty for Money in the Bank. I did not think
Yeah,
about that. Um
that's gonna be disgusting. Oh God.
yeah, put the whole thing on the Nah Family good list. Yeah, that potentially, yes, we are good with that. Um, the rumor is that WWE is potentially going to literally, pun intended, go double or nothing and return to Vegas next year.
No, I'm good on that. No
Okay,
thanks.
it is to be stated too that this is not something that is unfamiliar to WWE as a company. Even before Endeavor and TKO, in the early stages of WrestleMania, we're talking about either WrestleMania 4 and 5, WrestleMania 5 and 6. They did Atlantic City twice, 2 years in a row. So this is not an
Mhm.
uncommon practice for them. They just haven't done it in almost 40 years
I
at this point.
just My problem with them doing this like doubling up with cities with Vegas, people complain so much about how expensive Mania was this year.
It was.
And it's going to be probably more expensive next year.
And because of how expensive it was, it had on paper, from a financial standpoint, it was the most lucrative and most successful WrestleMania of all time.
But that's also like not fair because they like injected Mania weekend with so many bullshit ticketed events, like the fucking roast of WrestleMania and like everything else. I don't
The
remember all the
the
other
after
extra.
party
Yeah,
stuff.
the after party to the after party to the after party of
Oh, was it
WrestleMania. Like,
WrestleMania After Dark or something like that?
yeah, like they had so many functions, which like sounds like a lot of fun, but
Hmm.
that's a fucking drain on your wallet.
Yeah, it was a lot. I think they had like you can do like dinner with John Cena or something like that. There's a whole bunch of outwardly expensive stuff. The reason that a lot of people said that they might be going back to that Shaquan saying outside of memory. I mean, I remember when SummerSlam had residences at both the Staples and Barclays. Yes, because I was at every SummerSlam when they had a residency at the Barclays.
I loved the SummerSlam Barclays residency, but I feel like that's different.
It's
SummerSlam is
different.
not as big as Mania, and doing having a residency in Brooklyn, for example, not as much of a dream as Vegas.
Yeah, there's a lot of thinking around it. Obviously, wrestling is a business. Even AEW is a business. Even though AEW is like we're a professional wrestling company, you're still a business, and you're a television show as well, contrary to popular belief. Um, there is a thinking that TKO, Endeavor, UFC in particular, in that whole conglomerate of companies and show companies at some points, most of UFC is based in Vegas. UFC's
Mhm.
headquarters are in Vegas. UFC has pretty much owned Vegas with all their fight nights. So it would make sense that during the acquisition of UFC and WWE, they started consolidating. Because if you remember, like last year, Battleground was at the UFC like headquarters.
Mhm.
So it makes sense to do that. I mean, I understand them wanting to come back more regularly to Vegas, which I get. There is a rotation of places that WWE comes back to for big events. MetLife Stadium in New York, New
Mhm.
Jersey, the Superdome in New Orleans. I can see Vegas being in that rotation. I think what ticks people off is that it wasn't that WrestleMania's going potentially may go back to Vegas. I think they're ticked off because WrestleMania this year wasn't that great.
No.
I
Mania blew a little bit on top of being hella expensive and pricing
Mhm.
out actual wrestling fans. Like if you want to establish a Vegas residency, that's fine. Don't do that to WrestleMania. The part of the fun of WrestleMania is the diversity of location.
Mhm. I
Like,
agree. It's one of the reasons that I travel still.
yeah, like I feel like so many people plan traveling and vacationing and seeing the country around going to WrestleMania.
That's how I've done it.
Like, yeah, I've only been to New York Mania so far, but
Mhm.
I was preparing to suggest New Orleans WrestleMania as my honeymoon next year. I was like, I love New Orleans so
Yeah.
much. I think about going back to New Orleans once a week, like at least.
Once a
I think
week? Jeez.
at least I think about New Orleans all the time.
My goodness,
But
Kay.
I loved New Orleans. I loved it so much. But I feel bad for wrestling fans if Vegas continues to be where Vegas continues to be where Mania is held. Like it's not accessible to fans anymore. I feel like at that point.
There's idea. I mean, there are a corporation, there are a business, so it's at one point it is going to be all about the money, like most businesses are. So there's a possibility that WrestleMania goes the way of UFC and just prices people out the wazoo, which I don't think that's the case just yet because I bought SummerSlam tickets and they
Hmm.
weren't that bad. But
Okay.
WrestleMania is a whole different thing. And to your point, 2K, WrestleMania is a top 10 sports and entertainment event in the world. It rivals the Super Bowl, it rivals the Final Four,
Hmm.
it rivals the NBA Finals, the Stanley Cup, the World Cup. It is that big of a deal to the point where a Vegas residency wouldn't make sense, to be honest with
Hmm.
you. Because, like the Super Bowl, cities bid on WrestleMania
Hmm.
because of the economic impact, upwards of like 175 to like $350 million for a week for that city economy, which is a
Yeah.
huge deal. And I think it would be they would be losing money if they didn't, do a bidding war from time to time. And I think it benefits. I think it benefits everybody. I think it benefits the company, and if, from a financial standpoint, if you have cities trying to outbid you for Mania, I think it makes the most
Hmm.
sense. So let's play a little game, Kay. Um, Oh, please.
Okay.
Planning a trip to New Orleans. I know you Saquon, us
Oh.
us with you in New Orleans would have been a horrible time for you, probably. God, that would have been Jesus Christmas. Um, I will tell you altitude. That's why. Altitude
Hmm.
and Denver open air in April, probably not great for anybody. It's the reason it's called Mile High Stadium
Hmm.
because it's a mile high. But the game I want to play with you, Kay, is name me some other cities that's if not Vegas, where do you think WrestleMania could show up next year? I have
Next
5 in
year,
mind.
um,
I
you have
have a list of
five.
5. One of them
Um,
you're gonna hate.
okay.
Do you want me to start with my 5?
Uh, no, I think I would love to see London
Mhm.
get Mania. Would love an international WrestleMania. I would love to. Selfishly, I would love a New York Mania, but we're
Not
not
yet.
going to
No,
get
not
that.
again.
I would love to see Mania. Where would I like to see Mania? I'm thinking. I'm trying to think of like all the football stadiums. That's really how I'm trying to think about it. I'm like, where would I want? New Orleans is what I want, truly. I think that
As
people want New Orleans.
we're all
I
set for New
feel
Orleans.
I feel like it's too soon to go back to Texas. Like it's
Texas
too
is not
soon to go
bad
back
either.
to Florida. Where wasn't Mania supposed to go to Indianapolis?
They're guaranteed one. They
They're
don't know when yet.
okay. Who else could get a wrestle? I'm like trying to think of the fucking map. Atlanta would be fun.
Mhm.
Atlanta would be fun. A Canadian Mania would be fun.
Yes, it would.
Um, I think, but I don't think they'll do Canada because fuck Canada right now. No offense, it's just hard to get there.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if they went all out with a European Mania. If they didn't do London, I feel like a French WrestleMania would be really fun.
Phew, Jesus. That would be a wild time. Um, okay, you have most of my list.
Okay.
Most of us. I'll start with number one. I'll go to number five. I think the most likely, based on they already have a contract with them, is Indianapolis.
Hmm.
It makes the most sense. They already have the contract in hand. They already did, from what we saw, a stellar job with Royal Rumble, especially with the
Hmm.
things going around. Like, they renamed the streets. People got interactive maps when they are in the
Hmm.
airport about what you can do and places to go. Blah blah blah. So I think Indianapolis is probably a good choice. It's my number one choice if they don't go back to Vegas. My number two is Atlanta because WrestleMania 27 exists, or
Hmm.
28, and that was Snooki Mania, and that was a disaster. And they need redemption. I know how you feel about Snooki.
My faves and my faves. My worlds collided that day.
um, so we had Indianapolis, Atlanta, Toronto. As a person who has been in Toronto recently, or Toronto, sorry, not the T is silent. I'd be killed if someone heard me say that. Toronto has the perfect infrastructure for it,
Hmm.
and that stadium's huge. My fourth would be, so I have, what is it? Oh, London, obviously,
Hmm.
because literally, like, I think the mayor of London, like, one of his campaign points is like, "I'm going to bring WrestleMania to London,"
I heard that too, actually.
and there was a picture of like him and Triple H and Tony Khan after he won and everything like that.
Hell yeah.
Mr. Wild P, stop living in a fantasy world. We're never going to the Tokyo Dome. You think New Japan would allow WrestleMania in the Tokyo Dome? You out of your mind.
I think the money would have to be really correct.
Yes, it is 27. Thank you, Taquan. And the last one, which no one's going to want, but I'd be interested to see how they pulled it off. Saudi Arabia.
You know, I had a feeling you were going to say that.
That's why it's number five. I don't think they're going to do it
I don't
next
think they're
year.
going to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
By 2030, definitely.
Yeah, by the end of we're gonna get International Mania by the end of the decade, I feel.
Um,
There's nowhere place I can see them going.
I don't know. I feel like losing New Orleans really fucked everybody up.
It did. I know people who had already booked hotels.
Yeah, that's such a bummer.
And
Like,
as a person who's been to Mania for New Orleans the last time they were there, um, New Orleans is almost the perfect WrestleMania town.
as someone that's been to New Orleans but has not been to WrestleMania, I believe it.
Think of Bourbon Street littered with marks every night.
Ugh,
There's a
ugh.
video. One of
I
our
would have the best
Discord people.
time.
Have you ever seen the video that Smiley put on our Discord of me and Will and her on
I think
Bourbon
I've
Street,
seen
like
it.
hammered? Yeah. Yeah, it's a crazy time. We were singing wrestling songs walking through Bourbon Street, like as a contingency of wrestling fans.
Ugh, I love New Orleans. Like even if I didn't go to Mania next year, watching it would have just made me so happy. It would have been
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah, it would have been so much fun, but we're gonna have to wait
Like,
to see where it's gonna be. Hopefully, it's not Vegas, but who knows at this point. But let's move on.
what
So here's
about
some.
with Chicago?
Oof. No, they wouldn't do Chicago, not yet.
I mean, I would need Punk to like win the title at Chicago Mania, but
They
like,
won't do Chicago because the Bear Stadium is open air stadium, and it's Chicago. It will still
oh,
be
but
cold around April.
when I went to Chicago in 2019 and I saw 75-degree weather one day and snow the next day.
That's
It
why
was
they won't go to
crazy.
Chicago.
It was crazy.
Yeah, Chicago's a fun town. It is the second city for a reason, though. But I did like Chicago.
Another city I think about all the time.
Yes, it's New York with space. That's how I explain Chicago to people.
I would
That's
agree.
that's that's really all it is. But here's some things that WWE did announce and confirm. They confirmed this during Saturday night's main event that, hey, we're bringing Saturday night's main event again to Atlanta. Okay. Atlanta's getting Saturday night's main event July 12th. And officially, remember when they thought we were
I'm
going to
so
Rhode
excited.
Island for this? Evolution 2 is going to be the next day, July 13th at Atlanta, both in the State Farm Arena. Ticket pre-sale has started already. and tickets will go on sale officially. I think this Wednesday. So when this live recording gets edited, tickets will already be on sale. For this combo tickets, at least for Saturday night's main event and Evolution at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta.
I want to go so bad.
So here's the thing they also announced with this as well, Kay. Not only is it Saturday night's main event that Saturday, because Saturday night's main event Evolution that
Mhm.
Sunday, before Saturday night's main event in the afternoon from the famed Center Stage studio in Atlanta, where they used to film a lot of WCW,
Mhm.
the Great American Bash by NXT is also going to be going on that day.
Wow, that's a busy weekend.
It gets even crazier.
Does it?
Okay. Saturday, July 12th, a little bit earlier in the day, is AEW's All In.
Stop.
Yes.
That's
So
so much wrestling.
so technically, based on the timing of the events, again, just like we had last Sunday, AEW and NXT are going to be going head to head.
Wait, I
Great
have a
American,
question. Is this
yeah,
the AEW one that's in Texas?
yes, this is All In Texas. This is the first time All In has ever been in Texas or ever been in the
Okay.
States because All In was always at Wembley.
Mhm.
Um, and this is essentially their WrestleMania.
So what time is All In on?
It's going to be Saturday. They're doing it on a Saturday, Saturday,
At
July
the
12th. I
same
don't know.
time as main event though?
It's Great American Bash. It's going to be a little bit earlier.
Damn.
Yes. So in on that Saturday, July 12th, you're going to have Great American Bash All In and Saturday night's main event, and then Evolution 2 stands on its own.
Damn.
Hmm. So it's going to be an interesting little thing. You're contemplating traveling for Evolution to Con. Actually, so am I. Um, So I'm considering it. There's no official plans yet for that, but it's a crazy thing. But like there was rumor for Evolution too. Evolution is a very near and dear PLE to the heart of KOTR because that's when we met
Mhm.
Kay.
Yeah.
And Kay
That's
just
like
kind of
killing me that I cannot go to Georgia. But that's literally, I think, the only weekend this summer that I don't have something going on.
really.
Yes.
Damn, because I would have been like, if you were like willing to go, I'd be like, hey, Kay, you want to go? We can just stay at Charles's place.
Honestly, if I didn't have my batch, I have 2 concerts, 2 weddings, Pride, like I'll be in fucking wedding home stretch season by then. Like,
Yeah.
I will need the weekend to be probably alone and watch wrestling.
Hmm.
But I want to be there so bad.
I
I need
know.
another chair.
Yeah, the tickets aren't the worst, but they're not the greatest either. I peeped a little bit today.
How
Uh,
much are they?
for decent like mid levels, like 200 ish,
Okay, not horrible.
and it's a combo ticket, so
Oh, even better. The same seat both days.
exactly. So
Love
the
that.
NXT from Center Stage, the Great American Bash, isn't part of his combo package.
That makes sense.
You know,
But that would be a sick deal.
yeah. Oh, I know.
Like a
So
bargain.
yeah, so it's going to be interesting how they set up Evolution, especially with all the women's titles they have now in Saturday Night's main event, which was almost an all female review, and everything. So we were going to see what goes on with that. But Saturday Night's main event, Evolution happening, Great American Bash. It's going to be a really crazy weekend. Before all that, 2 weeks prior to that is going to be Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks prior to that is Money in the Bank, which is next week. Money in the Bank and Worlds Collide. So
Oh my
WWE
god.
is loading up with a lot of shows in the summer from all the brands. And we can add AAA to that because AAA is going to be part of Worlds Collide. So it's a lot of wrestling.
Dare I say a little too much wrestling?
Potentially.
I
Potentially.
think we're crossing a line here, starting to cross the line here. There is a pay-per-view almost every weekend in the summer.
And it's not even including TNA, which is also going to be like a week after
Oh
Evolution.
no, I'm including TNA in my very busy summer and the very busy schedule of wrestling.
I have a TNA theory too, which we will get to in a little bit.
Oh, I can't wait.
I have a TNA theory, which is going to be built on
But like,
what
how are we
Will and
supposed
I
to go
talked.
outside?
I don't go outside as it is. I'm actually kind of okay with this. I cook for a living. I don't cook for a living, but I cook now. So
Like, you don't cook for a living at all.
no.
That's not your job.
Oh man, I really don't want to cook for a living. I don't want to be like Chef Boyardee or
Yes,
whatever.
chef.
Anywho, moving on to Saturday night's main event, which happened over the weekend, which is obviously it was a three. I thought this weekend was going to be like the biggest weekend um, of wrestling for the summer, but apparently I'm wrong. But Saturday night's main event occurred. The results of Saturday night's main event are going to be streaming right now. Are going to be on the bottom of our little ticker right here. We had Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker defeating CM Punk and Sami Zayn. Zelina Vega retained against Chelsea Green. John Cena in a very comical squash match beat R-Truth. Damian Priest defeated McIntyre in a steel cage. Jey Uso retained the world title, defeating Logan Paul. So, kayfabe, what are your thoughts on Saturday night's main event?
I love being right is always my first thought. I think I had a perfect score for main event.
You might have. I got to double check. I know what the results are, which I'll reveal later.
Um, I I enjoyed main event. I thought the pacing was really good.
Mhm.
Um, and I really can't remember anything else about it right now.
What I really liked about main event is that they really have gotten main event their own unique style. So like in the years since like WWE would just go like stage crazy, they've done minimal stage sets, but main event is so unique. It's a very narrow walkway. The entranceway is very narrow, but the camera angles they use, like CM Punk's entrance was
It's so cool.
gorgeous, was like beautifully shot. Like coming from the ground, like he looked like a giant.
Hmm.
And everybody's singing his theme and everything. Like he looked huge. I love that setup. But he used the same setup for Raw, which I thought was really comical. I was like, wow, you guys are lazy.
Good for
But
them though.
yeah,
It makes
it
the
was a
Raw
good.
feel a little bit special.
It was special. It was unique looking. I really enjoyed kind of how it it panned out for them.
Hmm.
Um, you know, I did you notice? I don't know if you picked up on this. Did you see the colors that Punk and Zayn were wearing?
The Palestine flag.
Yeah.
I'm so happy they wore that. I was shocked they were allowed to wear that, given the state of things.
Well, who knows? Well, I mean, they seem to be a little bit more leeway with stuff. I was happy that Zelina and Chelsea actually had a match. This was about to be an all male review for that
Yeah,
show.
I wasn't digging the testosterone at all.
Do you know at all how Chelsea Green like busted her face?
No, do you?
I still can't figure out when it happened at
I would
all.
have to rewatch it, I think.
You know, obviously, John Cena in John Cena and R Truth with I want that R Truth Art Ron Cena shirt so badly.
Liv bought it.
Did they really?
She bought it during the show. She pulled a me.
Amazing.
She pulled a me and bought it in the middle of the pay-per-view.
I mean, I'm surprised John didn't break because I would have been on the floor crying, laughing.
I was on the floor crying, laughing.
the
Match
one
of the
thing,
year.
yeah, the one thing I did not enjoy about main events was the. I know John Cena's gimmick is I'm going to ruin wrestling, but it's such for somebody who's apparently as intelligent in the ring with ring psychology as John Cena claims he is, and people say that he is a really, really like bad heel.
Hmm.
Like, I think that's the point. He's supposed to be like comically just like stereotypical bad heel, but it's so annoying.
I'm trying to. I don't know. John Cena's one of those people that like I can't
You just
seem
like because he
to
came
love.
out in the freaking Buccaneers creamsicle BS.
Come, come on. That's like one of the most obscure things about me is that that's my fucking favorite
You're the only one
jersey.
who likes the Buccaneers creamsicle colored scheme that
It
they
was
wore.
my all-time fave as a kid, and John Cena, my childhood hero. poured one out. It was for me. It was very nice.
I'm gonna buy you a creamsicle jersey for your wedding.
That's the thing. I look horrible in orange. I wouldn't wear it because I thought about buying it, and I'm like, I don't like how I look in orange.
Put it in a frame or something, Kay.
No, that's the last thing I.
Listen, I tried. Also, did you hear when Jesse freaked out when Damian Priest just walked out of the steel cage?
No, I missed it, I guess.
Jesse the Body Ventura lost his ever loving mind talking about how he thinks it's bogus that Damian Priest can just walk out of a steel cage.
Oh my god.
I was like, Jesse, you were around when these rules were made. Like, why are you so upset about this? It was really funny, but apparently that angle, giving the concerto and a slight Edge reference, was to write Drew McIntyre off of TV for a while.
Oh, he's taking a little break.
He is taking a little break. He was
Good for
wrestling
him.
injured. He had a neck issue
Ooh.
for a little bit, and then obviously the finish. I love how Jesse gets frustrated in modern wrestling. I do too, Jaquan. I do too. And then the finish, obviously, John Cena came out to ruin the title match, and then Cody returned for the save. And now we have, in true Money in the Bank fashion, a tag team match: Cena and Logan Paul, which is so gross,
I hate it. I hate it
versus
so much.
versus Cody and Jey Uso, Money in the Bank. Announced we'll talk more about that later when we get to Money for the Marks next year. One of our bigger shows of the year.
Next year.
I mean, next week. Never mind. I'm all
Oh.
over the place. I'm sorry about that. You know what it was? It's
I was like, next year.
let's
And
just say
I'm like,
WrestleMania.
no, I'm like, did I miss Money of the Marks?
Yes, you've been in the simulation this entire time. Oh my god. So that was Saturday night's main event for you. One of the other big events that we're going to go to very, very soon after this is also NX. Oh, well, before we get to that, sorry about that. We have a new member of the Seth Rollins faction that is yet to be named. So the big question is, what do you name this faction of Seth Rollins, Breaker, Paul Heyman, and now my favorite thick boy in all of wrestling, Bronson Reed?
Oh my god, I'm so excited he's back. I think, what did I name them on Monday? The Monday Night Meat Mountain.
You did call them the Monday Night Meat Mountains.
I'm gonna stick with the Monday Night Meat Mountain because that's what they are. Look at them. Monday night, the Monday Night Meat.
You know
Very
what gets me?
meaty.
Do you see Paul Heyman's face?
Let me zoom in.
He's in between.
It's so funny.
So Michael Cole on commentary called them a dangerous coalition.
Oh,
You
is
know,
that gonna be their name?
no, well, they haven't said anything. They didn't say anything on Raw. I like them rebranding themselves with Dangerous Alliance because that was one of Paul Heyman's staples in
Hmm.
WCW. And the Dangerous Alliance has had a great track record of people who joined it. One of them being like Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Twink and Bear connection. No, we're not going to call them that.
You
No,
know,
Jaquan, we are not calling them that.
I support it. It is pride, just about.
I don't know what you call this because like they're joining members. Paul Heyman did a great promo, and things like that. And apparently CM Punk is all right because when Bronson Reed fell on him in the tsunami, like he let out a guttural like I'm in pain.
Yeah,
So
sounded
luckily
painful.
it did sound painful. So who knows what's gonna be with this? I like where it's going. This clearly has like tag team champions and world champion, but not any of the mid card champion.
Yeah, not yet. I'm sure they'll find one.
I still say we need Becky in this faction.
I agree. I want Becky. I think you guys mentioned Austin Theory last week.
Theory would be a good one too.
I like Theory, but I don't know if he's who I want. I'm trying to figure out who I would want instead.
They got to get him away from Grayson Waller at some point.
I agree.
You know,
I don't know.
yeah, we'll see about that. So, this faction should be named hopefully by Money in the Bank. Who the hell knows? But moving on to Sunday night NXT Battleground, occurred, and hold your horses. I know what you want to talk about. We're going to give that its own segment, Kay. What did you think of the rest of the battleground card, which is going to be the results going on the bottom here? So Ruka defeated Kalani Jordan, retaining her North American title in a six-man tag. Hank and Tank and Josh Briggs defeated the Culling. Stacks defeated Tony D'Angelo. Stephanie McCare retained her title against Jordan Grace, which was a really, really nice match. Obafemi
Mhm.
beat apparently Stephanie McCare's boyfriend, Miles Bourne, and the shock heard around the world, which we are going to talk about. So before that main event match, which is extremely surprising for a lot of reasons, what were your thoughts on this card, Kay?
I missed the Sol Ruka match. I missed the Tag Team Champions match. I'm gonna be so real. I still don't know who Hank and Tank are, but I'll figure
Uh,
that out eventually.
you would like Hank
Um,
and Tank if you got to know them. They're like what Heavy Machinery should have been.
NXT is something I'm like trying to actively watch more, but I like forget.
Well, because
I'm
we're
just so
recording right now while NXT is going on.
if I remember Wednesday mornings, I'll watch it on like Wednesday mornings, but it's very hit or miss.
The CW app, you can just watch it for free the next day,
Oh, very good, very good.
or the
Um,
CW.com or what have you.
I was so glad to see Tony D'Angelo lose because I hate him. Um, I'm shocked Stephanie retained.
I'm not
I
actually. Stephanie's the
I thought
hottest thing in
I
NXT
thought
right now.
she I thought she was gonna drop and just go to Raw.
Nah, they already got Julia and Roxanne. They got to let them go for a while.
Um, what else?
I will
I
say this:
really
you have to
liked
go
the
back
show
and see.
overall, but I have to definitely watch the beginning of the show.
I will say you go back and watch Sol Ruka versus Kalani. They were really fun.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Sol Ruka.
Sol Ruka's gimmick is she's a surfer chick.
Cute.
And she's very gymnastically inclined. Kalani Jordan was a former Division One gymnast at Michigan State University.
Okay.
And Sol Ruka has what is known as the Soul Snatcher.
What does that mean?
It's like, all right, so what she does, she runs up the turnbuckles, flips herself, and catches you in an RKO in a cutter.
Oh,
Yeah, it's the craziest thing in the world. You would love the Soul Snatcher.
I'll check her out.
Yeah, Soul Ruka's really, really fun. Um, and things like that. I mean, this there was the only thing I will say about this card is like if you could have taken out the six-man tag and you probably would have had a much more well-received card. I think
Mhm.
Jordan Grace and Stephanie McCare put on a great match.
It was
Um,
awesome.
yeah,
It was a
Stephanie
really
McCare is
good
too
match.
hot for to take that title off of her, and also the Booker T reactions when she does the she like puts her she wraps her legs
The
around her
app.
opponent's neck. Yeah, she slams
I
them to
don't
the
know.
ground.
I don't know the name of that move at this time. I just call it the ass.
Charlotte used to do it all the time.
Good for her.
But yeah. Uh, this is
I don't have
also
a
very
nice thing
true.
to say about that woman. I'm so sorry.
Speaking of relationship, this is also very true. Sol Ruka and Tyler Bate go together.
Cute. That's very cute.
Yes,
Aw.
congratulations to the big strong boy with that one. Um, I thought Miles and Obafemi were going a little long in the tooth. However,
I agree. It was a long
however,
match.
they wanted to make Miles Bourne look strong in defeat, and
Can I
I think
say
they proved that.
something
Yeah,
about Miles? Anytime I'm too high
he looks
and
like
I
Randy.
look, yes!
He looks like Randy. Yes,
You know,
everybody sees it. Everybody sees it. You're not
I
alone.
so by the time I got home and was like settled into watching Battleground, I was like real stoned. So I was like looking at the screen and I'm like, why is 2009 Randy Orton in NXT?
He does look like '09 Randy.
Because he's specifically too skinny to look like Randy now. But I'm like, that's '09 Randy Orton.
Without a
That's the
tan, yeah.
that's the boy that was on my notebooks in school.
Was he really?
Oh my god, all of my notebooks in high school had Randy, Jeff, Cena, Trips. Oh my god. I would print them out in the school computer lab and just
Wait,
tape them to my books.
Was it Mutton Chop strips?
A little bit.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, okay. Oh, Taquan, really? Well, to that because I don't. Do you know this about? I don't know if you heard it, but he is hard of hearing legally.
Oh, for real?
Mhm. So he also talks a little less. He cuts a good promo though.
He does. I'm glad that they like. I feel like I hope I don't get canceled for saying this.
No, no.
I feel like if Vince McMahon were in charge of WWE, he would end up getting treated like Timmy and Jimmy from South Park.
Probably. So they let a couple weeks ago before Battleground, they let Miles Bourne cut a promo talking about how he's hard of hearing. Like it became part of his babyface
No,
gimmick. It
I
was really
saw
nice.
that, which is why I'm saying I'm glad that they are doing it in a respectful way.
Yeah, he was able to tell his own story,
Yes.
which I thought was really good.
Mhm.
So that's Battleground for you. I think it was a solid show. And then the unthinkable happened. And we should have seen this coming, but there is a brand new TNA World Heavyweight Champion, and they don't legally work for TNA. And his name is Trick Williams. Now, let's set the scene here. So, last week on the show, Will and I were talking about how it would be a giant shock if they did this
Yeah.
because you have a working partnership with TNA, and why would you take their world title from them if you want to work with them? Because guess what, folks? AEW did that with Kenny Omega, and it was horrible for TNA.
Yeah.
Absolutely a disaster for TNA. And also, they just started as working partners. So why would you take their main title from them? And then the wrestling gods kind of started hinting that something was up because on the NXT last week, the go home to NXT, you had a segment with Joe Hendry and Trick Williams, and Joe Hendry stood tall at the end of NXT. I was like,
Oh
huh,
no.
interesting. Later on that week in Brampton, Canada, TNA had their Under Siege event on Friday, and the main event was a tag match with Joe Hendry and Frankie Kazarian with Trick Williams and somebody else, and Joe Hendry won.
Oh.
And I was like, "Oh, he looked tall 2 times in a week? That's not good." And
No.
then we didn't even talk about Mike Santana showing up, who's wrestling on NXT tonight. That's why your internet's doing so well, okay? Um, and then right before the main event, they showed the president of TNA in the crowd
Oh
before
shit.
the main event because the main event of the show was the TNA World Champion. The TNA World Championship main evented a WWE branded show, which is wild in and of itself. And then I think that's when I texted the group chat between Kane and Mance and I said, the fix
Mhm.
is in. It's
Yeah.
happening tonight. Even though I had predicted against it, the fix was definitely it. All of this is not my fault. I did not predict this to happen. I just saw the writing on the wall. Um, and I don't know what to think about this. My only theory, well, I have 2 theories.
What's your
One I mentioned on the show last week. What if Slammiversary is not doing well? Their TNA's next big event is Slammiversary.
Oh, that makes sense. They need to sell tickets.
Mhm. And having Trick coming in as the world champion means what that just means to me that it is going to be very WWE coded with Slammiversary.
Yeah, I kind of assumed that when we planned to go in the first place because of the partnership.
Mhm.
But I'm like
You
wondering who the fuck's gonna be on this card.
I don't know either. I have a feeling Styles is gonna show up in some way, shape, or form.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I really liked that little the package they did with him
it
narrating.
was really good. I forgot Penta was a TNA world champion. I think Kelly might show up. She just showed up on TNA TV over the weekend.
Oh, that's cool.
You're obviously gonna get Nick Nemeth, also, Oscar bait, Dolph Ziggler will show up at the
Love
event. The
him.
Hardys will probably be there. So it's gonna be a lot of ex-WWE people working in TNA under WWE, which brings me to
Hmm.
my more controversial theory.
Oh god, let's hear it.
Is WWE about to purchase TNA?
Dude, don't even say that.
Listen,
No way.
when
There's
W
absolutely in this economy, no.
you're talking TKO is a multi-billion dollar organization. They
Yeah,
have the money
but why are we buying everyone?
because that's what they do. I'm just saying it is a strong possibility. They already did the unthinkable with purchasing AAA. No one ever thought that would happen.
I feel like, yeah, but I don't know. I don't I don't see them buying TNA, and I can't wait next week to come on the show and be like, "Well, I was wrong." Put my little clown makeup on. I don't know.
I don't know either, but it's looking very plausible. Like,
It's feeling like it's giving global expansion to me,
hmm
like, and I don't necessarily think we need that.
I don't think so either. I think the diversification of pro wrestling is what's making pro wrestling so good right now because
Like,
there's
what's
literally
wrong?
something for everybody.
Like, I like that that they're partnering with each other. Why does WWE need to own everyone? Like, why?
Because they want to kill the market. That's why. I will say this: if WWE purchases TNA, they will do more. They will do a better service to TNA than what AEW ever did with their partnership.
Oh, definitely.
Like, I think when you compare, like, remember AEW purchased Ring of Honor, and essentially outside of like their weekly show, which you can't find anywhere on TV, they shelved them.
Hmm.
They shelved them, and Ring of Honor people show up on AEW all the time, but you can never find a Ring of Honor show anywhere unless it's on like YouTube.
Yeah.
I think if WWE purchases TNA, they will still have TNA be TNA and not, but it'll just be like, WWE coded a little bit here and there. Just like how WWE purchased Evolve during the pandemic, which still breaks
Hmm.
my heart, but now Evolve is back as kind of a pseudo developmental brand.
Yeah.
But they still have their own show on Tubi. They still do stuff for Evolve, and Evolve is its own thing. They even kept the freaking logo for the most part. Um,
Yeah, it's very similar.
yeah, it's very very similar to that. Shine still goes on, by the way, but I think it's a
Hmm.
possibility that TNA could be purchased. When WWE purchased WCW/ECW, they put those belts by hook or by crook on a lot of our WWE talent really quickly.
Yeah.
And the fact that they had the president of TNA show up and show his clearly disappointed face, like he did not look happy at the end of that. Either it's kayfabe, or if they just didn't tell him, or he knows something we don't. It is a strong possibility that that an acquisition could happen by WrestleMania next year.
That's so crazy.
Hmm You know, which is a good point that Mr. Wilby said. Athena, formerly known as Ember Moon, is the longest reigning champion in Ring of Honor history, and we haven't seen a whiff of any part of her reign. That's true. The last time we saw
Yeah.
Athena, she lost to Mercedes Moné in the Owen Hart tournament, which is a good match, actually. It's a very, very good match because
Oh, that's right.
Mercedes does put on good matches. Speaking of
Hmm.
AEW had their Double or Nothing pay-per-view this past Sunday. And I will
Good
say
for
this,
them.
it was good. It was
It
good.
was.
Overall, it was a very, very good show. The results are, geez, right here. Mercedes wins the Owen Hart tournament for the women, defeating Jamie Hayter, which opened the show, by the way.
Interesting.
Opening the show, it was really, really good. One of Mercedes' best matches. Mercedes getting even better as a wrestler in
That's
AEW.
awesome.
Jamie Hayter put on a better match than I expected her to put on. Their storytelling was great. And so now after Tony Storm beat Mina Shirakawa, and they shared a lovely female kiss at the end of the show, at the end of the match, because why not? Because it's Tony Storm and Mina
Love
Shirakawa.
that.
Um, we are now getting at All In for the AEW Women's World Champion, the undefeated Mercedes Moné versus Timeless Tony Storm. And I would go to All In just for that.
Wow.
you know,
That's such a good match.
I was like, the writing's on the wall. FTR defeated Nigel McGuinness and Sammy Guevara because that match had to happen. Ricochet defeated Mark Briscoe in a stretcher match because that was kind of wonky, but it worked. Um, the Hurt Syndicate retained the AW tag titles against the Sons of Texas. Um, which was whoever. I forgot, but the Sons of Texas. Actually, it's not Sammy Guevara in Nigel McGuinness's corner. Sorry, that was Daniel Garcia. My apologies for that. But it was Gold Dust and Sammy Guevara as the Sons of Texas. So I do apologize for
Oh,
the typo. But you know how MGF is now officially a member of the Hurt Syndicate?
yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's a thing.
I haven't watched AEW in a minute. I tried to catch up and it wasn't working on HBO and I just never went back.
Oh, that
But
sucks.
yeah, I don't get it.
The
But
quality is pretty good.
I'm not understanding why MJF is in the Hurt Syndicate,
No
but
one
I'm
does.
not
The idea
confident.
is that
Oh, good.
MJF wants to use them as muscle so he can get his way back to the top of AEW.
Oh, that makes sense, I guess.
And the Hurt Syndicate kind of want to use him to boost their stock.
Also makes sense.
Yeah. You obviously Tony beat Mina Shirakawa. Speedball Mike Bailey and Okada went for the Continental Championship, and that was a really good match, actually. I was very surprised by that.
Hmm.
And then you had the Don Callis family defeated Paragon, which is literally like Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roddy Strong. They're known as Paragon now. So it's Undisputed Era minus Bobby
Okay.
Fish. Yeah, that was a match. Two matches I
Interesting.
really want to get to. Number one, Hangman Adam Page beat the golden boy of AEW, Will Ospreay, in the Owen Hart final.
I am shocked,
In a
actually.
shocker to me as well. I mean, they put on a hell of a match. It main evented the show, which I have a critique about. I don't think it should have main evented, in my opinion.
What did you think was going to main event?
Anarchy
Anarchy
in
and
the yeah.
where did that fall in the card?
It was the third to last match.
That's so weird.
Yeah. So they had this whole thing about, Will Ospreay's this golden child. Hangman Adam Page is talking about how he's trying to become a better person. He's like, I know I did some bad things in the past and now I'm better. They had a good story going with that. I
Hmm.
just didn't expect Hangman Adam Page to beat Will Ospreay because now Hangman Adam Page gets to face John Moxley at All In for the AEW World Title. The World Title we haven't seen for months because Moxley keeps it in a freaking briefcase.
He's still doing that?
Yes, he's still part of the Death Riders. That's still a thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And so my big thing with that is you paid Will Ospreay how much money to stay? Will Ospreay has been going like a maniac on his interviews talking about how AEW is so much better, being the spokesperson and all that stuff. And he's been your most highlighted wrestler in the past year or so. Same thing with Mercedes. Mercedes has not lost yet. She's
Yeah.
been the TBS champion for over a year at this point. She hasn't lost a match at all. And Mercedes and Will Ospreay came in around the same time. You're telling me you're going to give it back to Hangman? And no offense to Hangman, I think he's a great character. I think he does well, but I thought the writing was on the walls. Like it's Ospreay versus Mox,
Yeah.
which Mox is very much all like anti AEW and Ospreay is like pro AEW. So I thought the story was naturally going to write itself. So it's kind of a shock to me where we're going to go with this and what does Ospreay do at All In now? He's not getting the world title.
Yeah.
He's
That's
not
so
getting.
that's just such a weird choice, in my
It's very
opinion.
very weird. It is very very weird. Um, so I just like it's very interesting thing. And so the next thing I want to talk about is obviously Anarchy in the Arena, which I thought should have main evented. One, because once they got to the main event of Oscar versus Hangman, the crowd was exhausted. They were
Yeah.
excited, but they were exhausted. And I think like as much as creative as Anarchy in the Arena was, it would not be funny if Moxley beat Hangman at All In because that would be really annoying. That would be like John Cena kicking somebody in the balls to win the 17th world title. Oh wait, that already happened.
Anything's possible in the world of wrestling.
Anything is possible in the world of wrestling. Something should not be possible in a main event of your biggest show of the year. Um, my thing with Anarchy in Arena is that I couldn't. It's too much chaos for me. Like
That's fair.
the spots are creative, but when you have people fighting literally all over the arena and they had to do a four screen split screen to show you what everybody was doing, I can only imagine how annoying that is to watch in person.
Yeah.
you know how just like insane that is to watch in person, and all of that, and I don't understand how you watch that and still remain like intrigued by it because then it's also just a giant spot fest a lot of the time. So like they'll focus on one thing and everybody else is kind of just like faking being on the floor or whatever or being wiped out. I will say adding Willow Nightingale and Marina Shafir, the two first females ever in Anarchy in the Arena, was a fun twist. They didn't get a lot of highlights, but they were fun.
It's
Um,
nice to see women doing something.
yeah, it was cool. It was nice. Willow, I know, just re-signed with AEW to a pretty lucrative deal, so good for her.
Good for her.
Um, but I think it was too chaotic. I started comparing it to, I was like, oh, this is what war games would be if war games didn't have a cage.
Yeah,
You know
I
what? Because
get that.
also, no matter where you go fight in the arena, because I think Joe and Mox like did fight outside of the arena for like 2 seconds.
Mhm.
No matter what, you have to get the pinfall or submission in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
So why are you fighting all the way around like mad people, but you still have to go back to the ring? And I think for me too is that it's so chaotic because it's like I get it's supposed to be anarchy and lawless and chaotic, but I think anarchy in the arena, as interesting of a match it was, could have could benefit from being a little bit more structured.
I get that.
And also because a lot of the times they're clearly setting up spots, so it takes away
Mhm.
from the flow of the match.
Yeah, that's annoying too.
And also the Young Bucks coming out because the Young Bucks whole stick is like their heels and they're calling themselves the founding fathers, and they came out and wrestled in colonial gear. I was like, enough, guys.
Like, you mean like Alexander Hamilton garb?
Hmm.
Oh God.
They had the Dapper Yapper Justin Roberts do a whole 4 score and 6 years ago. AEW was founded by
Wow, I hate
the
that.
Young Bucks. Yeah, it was really
I love
annoying.
Hamilton and all, but like, no.
Yeah, the Young Bucks just really annoy me. They really annoy me a lot.
I used to love them. I now I'm like, I fucking can't with the Young Bucks anymore. Like, I
They're really
truly can't do.
cringe.
That's how I
Um,
feel too.
really cringe to me. And so, but overall, I think Double or Nothing was one of their better shows. I think they're where they put their matches could have been a little bit better because after Anarchy and Arena, and you've torn up all this stuff, and all these spots are all over the place, and there's chaos everywhere. How do you go back from that as a show? How do you go back to regular matches?
Yeah, it's hard.
And still be invested. Like I said, as invested as they were in Osprey and Hangman, you can tell the crowd was kind of dead.
I feel like AEW pacing is often really strange.
It is very strange a lot of
Like,
the time.
I like going to AEW shows, but it's not always a consistent experience.
Yeah. And
Like,
like
I
it's one
feel
of
like I
those
get burnt out really quick.
yeah, because every event for them is like a WrestleMania. And I think like you can't like and that's also one of the things that annoyed me about Osprey and Hangman. It's like, all right, guys, you've done your finishers how many times? Let's get to the point.
Hmm.
Let's get to the point, everybody. The older I get, the more I'm just like, you know what? We should protect finishers more.
Yeah,
you know, like if you hit a finisher, it should be over. Unless like it's an extreme circumstance.
that's
You know,
fair.
that's just kind of me. But I understand that sometimes AEW isn't for me. But overall, I enjoyed it. I thought their stage setup was gorgeous. Like the way
They
they set
do
up their
unique
stage, it was really nice.
stages, I will
Yeah,
say.
it was really nice. And I understand why they booked Hangman and Osprey last because Mercedes and Jamie Hayter were first.
Yeah,
And I get
that
that,
makes
but
sense.
then you screw up Anarchy in the arena.
Sure, I
Like
get
where do
that.
you put that chaotic match? Do you put it in the middle? Do you put it like penultimate, which they almost did?
I feel like that would have been hard too,
Exactly.
because
Like
then you're
what do you
burnt out
do?
at the main event.
Yeah. The other thing that I don't know if you watched previous Anarchy in the arenas, but a lot of the time they have a
I
habit
did. I just don't
where they
remember them.
where they play music through like the first 20 minutes of the match.
Oh yeah, I do remember that actually. I
So like
liked the music, but it took me out when the music stopped.
the music took me out of the match occurring. So they did that they started I forgot they played a very old school song. And then Kenny Omega, again, right as the match is starting, Kenny Omega takes the mic, stops the music, speaks to the crowd while people are fighting all around him. I'm like, guys, what are we doing? Like, is this an indie show or are we doing like an actual pay-per-view? You know?
Yeah.
And so they ended up playing bodies, like let the bodies hit the floor.
By Drowning Pool?
Hmm.
Damn.
Three
That's a
times
good
in a row.
song. Oh,
Yeah. And I was like, okay, one time
that's
I get it,
a
set the
little
mood, but
weird.
I was like, guys, let's stop playing the song. Like it was good, the crowd was into it, but I'm just like, again, that also leads to the chaos of again, like how do you come back from that? Like as a when you're like up next against them.
Yeah, I feel they just try to do so much, and I get that AEW likes being different than WWE, but they're they don't need to reinvent the wheel.
They're so bothered by WWE too. Like Will Ospreay has been going off about how, oh, you know, AEW's roster will beat anybody in WWE's roster any day. We're so much better than them. Tony
Who
Khan mentioned
cares?
Tony Khan mentioned this pressure about like, oh, we're counter programming with us all the time, but it's not going to end up like Jim Crockett Promotions. The ending's going to be so much different. Like, shut up, Tony. Just focus on your brand.
Like AEW's been a company for what, we're coming up 6 years now.
Over 6 years.
I
The first
don't
All In was 6 years ago in 2019.
I don't think that
Or Double or Nothing. Sorry.
they don't need to compete that hard anymore.
They have technically, it was giving extra Mr. Wallaby. They have technically been around longer than WCW ever was.
And that's a great accomplishment, and they should be really proud of themselves, but that doesn't mean they have to continue being like, "Oh, fuck WWE."
Yeah, like
It's okay to be something different than WWE, but that doesn't have to be your only selling point.
yeah. I will say I do like their commentary a little bit better during matches because they focus more so on the match. Like Taz, Shivani's kind of just being Shivani as he always is. And I forgot the guy with the mask. He's the main.
Oh,
He's
Excalibur.
Excalibur, yeah.
I
Excalibur
like
and
him.
Taz. Excalibur in particular is a great main announcer. He does really well.
I really like Excalibur a lot.
Yeah, he does really, really well. But that was Double or Nothing. It's fun. I would definitely have you check out some of the matches. If you we're gonna check out the matches, check out Mercedes and Jamie, check out Hangman and Osprey. Although Hangman and Osprey is really long.
Hell yeah, I'll look them up.
And if you want Okada and Speedball Mike Bailey, really fun match. And then Anarchy in the Arena if you just want to see the chaos.
I love a good chaos moment, so I will
Mhm.
definitely check that out.
If you want to get chaotic.
I love getting chaotic. Ooh.
Excalibur is what holds the team together. That is very, very true, Mr. YLP. And with that being said, folks, we are officially at the end of the show
Oh
this week.
wow, look at us.
Yeah, we haven't there wasn't really much for us to talk about, especially because everything that we could talk about, we'll do next week when we do Money for the Marks.
I'm so excited it's Money in the Mark season already.
Yes, our seminal show, one of our bigger shows of the year. And also, before I forget, do you want to hear the results of a three event predictions for Memorial Day weekend?
I would. Let's hear it.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
The current Kings of the Rings podcast prediction leaderboard goes as this. In first place is Slajan K with 53 points. Second place, Willie T with 52, and I am in third with 51. So it is a very,
Wow.
very narrow margin right now
This is
for
great.
who's gonna it's gonna be interesting. With all the events going on over the summer, we're gonna have a lot more predictions to do. Because I do plan on us doing Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank next week.
I am very excited.
Even though we probably won't know half the people on the Worlds Collide card.
It's okay, we'll figure it out. What if we find a special guest that might know more than us?
With Lucha Libre, I don't know. And I don't know if Can Cross. I don't know why Can Cross is not in Money Bank. He may be soon. I don't know actually if we know a Lucha Libre expert.
I think let's reach out to the Discord. See if anyone can help
Potentially,
us.
maybe good for Taquan to come on for the first time ever. We owe him
Oh,
that.
I think that's a great idea.
He's out of school right now. Colleges have already gotten out, so maybe it's a good time to get Taquan back on there.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So, okay, do you want to do the post show or nay? It's up to you.
I feel like a
Post
few
show a little bit.
minutes.
Yeah, it's
A
8:30.
tiny bit.
Yeah, a tiny bit.
I'm just
Yeah.
working on what I was showing you before.
Okay, that's where I hear all the clicking from. That makes sense.
Yeah.
We can do all that, and we can BS and chop it up with everybody if you want to stay with us for the post show. But with that being said, I guess let's get to the post show. Let's get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to Kings of the Rings podcast, episode number 408. So eloquently named something that I forgot, and I'll figure it out later. You can follow me at Ambassador Biggs across all social media outlets, BIGZ, Ambassador Biggs. Find Kings of the Rings podcast at KOTR_podcast across all platforms. Like, share, subscribe, leave us a 5-star review. The links to all of that are in the description below. If you're listening to us, make sure you're listening to us on Wrestle Addict Radio, the cure from a common wrestling podcast, and follow Wrestle Addict Radio socials at addict_wrestle on Twitter and at Wrestle Addict Radio, all one word everywhere else. Kayfabe, what do you got for me?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
There we go. There we
I'm
go.
hungry. I'm ready for the post show.
That's what we're naming it. Popeye's chicken sandwich. Popeye's chicken and sandwich.
Oh,
That's
yes,
what
for sure. Popeye's chicken sandwich.
it's gonna be. Popeye's chicken sandwich. That's what it is.
You can find me lusting for Popeye's chicken on Instagram and TikTok at KAE_FABE.
Yes. When we come back next week, it's going to be Money for the Marks, one of our biggest events of the year. We may have a guest, we may not. Who the hell knows? We're going to do Money for the Marks, Money in the Bank Freebie Show, AAA, NXT, Worlds Collide. TNA might be involved in Worlds Collide as well. And it's just going to be a crazy prediction show. And hopefully somebody will dethrone kayfabe at the end of that weekend. But until next week, until next. Oh, now you're invested, Jesus.
Am I winning? Yeah.
Until next week.
I love winning.
Goodbye. Good night. We'll see you soon. And maybe we're not going to do it. We're not going to bring Slack on next week because
I was asking you to suggest Slack.
I don't know. Fuck you, Slack, though, until we figure it out. We'll see you next week. This has been a Wrestle Addict Radio branded podcast. Forbidden Door, Mr. Wild P. Maybe we'll bring you on.
Ooh.
Holler at my people. You don't have any people. I'll just holler at you, Mr. Wild P. Holler at my people. You do not have a secretary. I have your phone number. All right. So what are we working on this merch stuff? Okay. What have you been putting together during the show?
Okay, so I'm working. You know how I sent you the picture with the hats?
Yes.
Now I'm doing one with drinkware.
Ah, very nice.
Yeah, I think it's almost done. I'm just trying to tell if these are even. I can't totally tell, and it's driving me fucking a little crazy.
Do you have new glasses, Kay? For some reason, I feel like they're new.
They're new-ish. I believe I've worn them on the show before.
Okay, I just like them.
Thank you. These are my favorite glasses.
I can see why.
I got them on Zeelool. Zeelool.
I mean, mine are just blue light reader glasses and totally.
I have, well, these are prescription. So I wear these all the time. I also have, to provide my glasses collection.
Is that a Gengar behind you, by the way?
Yes, it is. I have, these are like my basic glasses, like regular.
That I remember, yeah.
Normal glasses. And then you're going to see these a lot over the next month because I'm coming out.
I almost bought some Pride merch on Look Human.
What's that? Oh, Look Human. I thought you said Look Human, like the spice. And
no, not
like,
human.
what the fuck is Look Human?
No, Look Human. Sorry.
What did you get?
No, I said I almost said I haven't bought it yet.
What do you consider?
I think there was an Ally shirt that they had, and I was like, "Oh, I can wear that."
Oh, I love that.
You know, but there's a couple of shirts that there's like a floral one that says "Made it out of bed today."
What does it say? Made it out of bed today.
Made it out of bed today. There's another one that's like totally from Doug. It's like the Beats '96 World Tour.
Oh, I love that.
There's a couple. I love Look Human. There's a whole bunch of stuff on there.
I've been on there before. I like their stuff. I've never shopped with them. I like window shop from them.
There's a lot of raccoon aesthetics too, which is also kind of funny.
Raccoons?
Yeah.
Like the animal?
Yes, like the animal.
Cute. Love that.
Yeah. So did you send me the thing that you're sizing of this thing, or you're still working on it?
Not at this time. I'm still, like I said, making sure these are all even because I'm crashing out. Just a skosh.
Just the scotch.
I like the color. I'm set pretty much with the color that I
Mhm.
want to do with this specific one. I think I want to do like a different gradient on each page.
I like that. Makes it aesthetically
So
pleasing.
it's, yeah. I found I was going through my Canva history and looking at like projects past, and I
Mhm.
saw the graphic thing that I did for my old like HBIC collection, and I'm like, oh my god, it was so bad. I'm so ashamed. So this is me being like in my redemption era.
You live and you learn.
I know.
We're
That was
just
like
gonna get better each.
5 years ago at this point.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna send you this one.
Yeah, let me take a look at
Share.
it because we do have a new merch thing in the works. Hopefully, better in our current merch store. FYI for anybody who's still with us.
So sorry to everyone with the current merch store.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm like, no, I'm like embarrassed, like hardcore. Just why I'm like very into this project.
listen, someone's got to do it.
Yeah, and this is stuff I like doing.
Exactly. Did you send it yet?
I'm about to
Oh, okay.
hold your horses.
I'm sorry.
Here we go. This is drinkware.
On Discord. Okay. There you are. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I'm having fun.
I like that a lot, actually.
Thank you.
And the koozie.
Yeah, I wanted to like make sure there was like representation of everything, but
Hmm.
not putting every single thing, you know?
Yeah. The only thing you probably like the just the website thing like you did with the hats.
What about the hats? Oh, thank you. I
Yeah,
didn't. You're
that's the
right.
one thing I was like, oh, I think we're missing something, but I
Yes.
like it otherwise.
Cool,
I like it a
cool.
lot.
I
I like the
gotta.
font. The font is really good.
I love this font.
Yeah.
I love these font. It's so good. All right, let me edit that. So make these smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're looking really, really good.
Nah, I feel like I'm gonna have like a manic burst of energy and get this done so fast.
You think so?
Yeah, like I'm like shockingly very awake right now.
Oh, you got that like last minute burst of energy.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what happened, but it's here. Um, where is it? Ow, my hand hurts. I hate carpal tunnel.
Smiley, thank you for joining us on the post show.
Hello,
What have,
hello.
what have you been up to?
Okay, this all needs to move.
Also, okay, how crazy was that thing I sent you about?
In fucking Shoreham.
Yeah.
I I think I'm extra gagged about that because that's like so close to where I lived for a while. Because that's
Well,
like
yeah,
right
that's true.
that's right near like the Miller Place Rocky Point area. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But also not shocking at the same time, and I hate saying it, but I feel like all the news I hear and see about Long Island lately is just very disturbing.
That's Long Island for you. What do you mean you've been trying to stay out of trouble? Do we need to have a conversation when I get off the stream, Smiley?
Ugh,
Because I
oh,
will message you and be like, spill it. I
love that.
do want to know
Ugh.
some stuff. And the next time I'm in Chicago, Smiley, we are definitely going to have to meet up. So, okay, Smiley's the one who has the video of me in New Orleans.
Yes, yes. I know.
Mhm.
Sorry. I'm like adding the
Oh, Mance is texting us.
thing. Oh,
Mance is gagged about Santana being on NXT.
that's crazy. I still can't believe he's on NXT.
Also, okay, I have a question.
I have an
How come
answer.
I'm surprised you didn't go to Beyonce over the weekend?
I wanted to go so bad.
I know several people that did.
I wanted to go so bad. You don't understand how bad I wanted to go. So at this point, by the time Act 3 rolls around
uh
and she tours for whatever album is next, I will not be planning a wedding,
Okay.
and I will be going then. Like I'm also not going to Gaga this summer, which is equally as devastating to me.
Oh, I haven't listened to her new album.
It's so fucking good.
The last new album I listened to, I think, was The Weeknd's. I'm very behind.
I like my only exposure to The Weeknd is like WrestleMania or like being in like a Dwayne Reed.
Dwayne Reed.
Yeah.
His last album was really good. I've listened to 2 of his more recent albums. So Hurry Up Tomorrow was I think his best album to date. I never grew up a big Weeknd fan. I was always I was always against. I was always very like I was like it's The Weeknd. People are like, oh, he's like. I think he was compared to like The Dream and then like a rapper, and I was like, wow, that's cool. I don't like them together. I like them separate. So, so that's the thing. Although I do miss The Dream. He had a fun run for a while.
I don't even know what the last new album I listened to was. Let me look. Like, I don't think it was Gaga's, like, but I can't remember what's come out since Gaga.
I've been so behind on my stuff.
Like, I've listened to the new Gaga, I listened to the new Bad Bunny. Um,
He had a concert. No, he didn't have a concert ever. My fault. That was
he's not coming to America.
smart man.
Um,
Oh, don't worry, Smiley. We're gonna talk about this once I get off this stream.
ooh, we love Quee.
You would be a candidate for Love and War, actually, Smiley.
Bring it back.
We should. We should.
You guys should do that.
We should. Yeah, we'll instead of interviewing ourselves, we'll just interview other people in the wrestling world, like wrestling relationships.
Well, I mean, there's only a few of us on War, and that will end really quickly. Like,
that's true. That's true.
That's only a few episodes. We eventually would need to expand anyway.
Exactly.
If we were to bring it back.
Mm-hmm. We could do a follow-up. So like, what's been going on since then? And then you can have a really like coy episode then, and then we can just flip to other people.
I would do my follow-up post-October. Because mine is a glow-up.
Yeah, I don't know what mine would be. I don't know if mine's a glow-up. Mine's just it's a roller coaster.
It is a roller coaster.
Yeah. It is very much a roller coaster. Yeah, it's roller coaster. It's like if you did something in Roller Coaster Tycoon and like you almost die, but like that's how dangerous the roller coaster is, but you're still living.
So, is there a roller coaster in particular that encapsulates?
That's a great therapy question.
Thank you. Like, are you a King Ka girly?
Didn't King Ka just shut down recently?
Well, yes. But my experience with King Ka is that's like the scariest roller coaster.
I never rode on King Ka, actually.
Oh, I never did either. Let's be honest. I remember in high school, we did our music department did music in the parks a few times, and we always went to Great Adventure. But I don't do rides. It's not my thing. So like I set that shit.
You were that kid.
I don't really like heights. Like I've never done an upside down roller coaster. Like rides are just not it for me. I'll go to the theme park. I like going to like meet the characters. I'll hold your shit. I'll do the water rides, but I'm not getting fucking thrown around.
Fair enough. So you never did like Gravitron as a child at like the fairs and whatnot.
Oh, the Gravitron is my favorite though.
Really?
The Gravitron is my favorite ride at the carnival.
Just a little centrifugal force.
I feel like that ride's not that serious.
It's not. It's just physics.
But like the zipper, you couldn't fucking pay me to go on that.
Or like, what was it? Was it like? Is it the pirate ship on in Adventureland?
The one that goes like that?
The swing, yeah.
I'll go on that.
Okay.
I'll do the swing. I'll do like the one that goes up and then it goes down. I'll go on
Oh, like
that.
the wave or something or whatever?
No, I think the wave is the one that, I can't believe I'm trying to like demonstrate how this
I know
but you
I
know
know what
how
you're talking
you
about,
know,
yeah.
it's like choppy, like it's
Yeah, I know what you're
I have
talking
I
about.
haven't been to Adventureland in like 20 years, but I can still see all these rides so vividly. Adventureland, I would do most of the rides. But I remember as a child, like I went to Disney World once, and like I was afraid to go on like every roller
I
coaster.
feel like you'd like Disney World a lot more now, like, I didn't appreciate Disney World until I went when I was older, I was like, "Yo, this is great."
I can't wait. I don't know when I'm gonna go, but like I can't wait to go as an adult.
Like
Like I when I was 10, I was such a brat. Like
I
I was
bet you were.
I was afraid of everything when I was
Mhm.
10 years old. Like probably like peak anxiety was 5th grade. Like I did not enjoy myself like I should have, and I want to go now and live it up.
I wanna go back to Disney World so we can go to Hollywood Studios and Galaxy's Edge, and I can chill with Star Wars characters and get my freaking lightsaber that I've been waiting 6 years for. Thanks, pandemic.
I think about that anytime I see a Galaxy's Edge commercial. I think of you.
I was so close. I was so close. Do you understand how amazing that week was going to be for me?
Yeah, it was gonna be the perfect week.
Yeah, I literally had half the week to myself in Orlando, going to Disney World, Galaxy's Edge, all that stuff, and then I
Hmm.
was going to drive to Tampa, pick up Charles from the airport, and then we were just gonna have WrestleMania weekend, that whole weekend.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah, back when him and I were both, like, bachelors, for real, which would have been
Yeah,
a crazy time.
that would be a wild time. What do
Yeah,
you think of that the Universal Epic Park that just opened?
I'm interested.
Me too.
I'm very interested because I mean, I like going to theme parks, I just don't have money for theme parks.
Mood.
You know? Like, I wanna go to, like, Anaheim to do Disneyland and do Avengers Campus, but I don't have flying to California money.
Yeah, it's so expensive.
Yeah, I can fly to another country for cheaper, but I can't fly to California.
What if you went to is the adventure thing only in California?
Avengers Campus, yeah,
Oh,
due to really random legalities,
oh,
or
that
else it would
sucks.
be in Orlando, be like, "Oh, we're going."
Or if it's cheaper, you don't have to go to like Disneyland Paris or Disneyland Japan.
Yeah, but my French is not that good at all.
Oh, did you take French in school?
Mhm. And if I would have known what my life would be like 20 years from now, I'd be like, "Oh, I probably would have focused a little bit more."
Hmm.
But I didn't.
You could always like pick it back up on like Duolingo or something if you
I
wanted.
could. I could. Maybe when it becomes more relevant
Yeah,
in the future, I'll bring it back. Like I can read it, I can speak it if I know what I'm saying.
yeah.
But
Like I
I
took
can't like off the top of my head say something.
That's how I am with Spanish. I took Spanish all through middle school and high school. Like if I listen to conversation, I can pick up bits and pieces. If I read it, I can mostly understand it, but like my speaking is not good anymore.
Yeah.
Like at this point, like most of the Spanish I remember is like food related from when I worked at Wendy's as a teenager. Like
Oh my god, that's right. Tomorrow's National Hamburger Day.
it is.
I saw it on TikTok, yes.
Oh,
That's what I'm
maybe
doing for lunch tomorrow. I'm going to
I
Wendy's, I think.
I'll probably make burgers on tomorrow. I have burgers in the freezer.
Yeah, the one time I'll go out for lunch this week before I have to like pay rent.
Yeah, it's that time.
Yeah.
Uh,
Unfortunately, but let's not talk about food because Kay has to get some sleep or whatever, or Kay and I can talk. So anyway, we're gonna get out of here, folks.
yeah, I'm
Thank you guys.
hungry.